Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Ultra Act Father of Ultra action figure set from Bandai. This set was first available in Japan around the middle of 2013 and originally sold for about 5,000 yen, which converts to roughly about $50. And this set is going to see a reissue primarily in the US for the price of, I think it's $48 sometime in the beginning of 2014. I got this set in November of 2013 when I purchased it from a Japanese online web store called Mandarake, and I paid only 3,500 yen for this pre-owned set, which converts to about $35. Taking a closer peek at the Father of Ultra here, who is the commander of the space garrison in the Ultra universe. And this particular Father of Ultra figure is packaged in a little bit bigger sized packaging compared to other Ultra Act figures you can see right here. Mainly because the figure is a bit larger than your typical Ultra figure. It also includes a bit more accessories, which we'll see once we have this opened up. And you can see the Father of Ultra in this smaller window, and you can tell right away he is a bit bigger than your typical Ultra figure. And the packaging is in the typical newer style of Ultra Act figures with the design graphic with a nice metallic-like packaging with the graphics, I guess, fanning out from the bottom. Pretty cool and nice pixelated, not really pixelated, but almost like 4-color print design of the character or the figure. Pretty cool. Let me see if I bring it closer, you can see all the dots on there, which is typical of 4-color comics at the time, but pretty neat. And here you have the name of the figure, Father of Ultra, in both English and Japanese, with the Ultra Act logo. Very nice. And then we have a logo down here in the corner I'm not familiar with. I'm gonna guess maybe it's from Ultraman Ace TV show. I could be wrong. Because I remember seeing him appear in an episode of Ultraman Ace, but that's a guess. I'm not familiar. And over here we have logos for Tamashii Nations and Bandai. On the side of the packaging here, you can see a much clearer photo of Father of Ultra compared to the photo on the front. And you can also see the spillover of the graphic from the front going over to the sides. Very neat. And the other side, just no photo of the figure, but you still have the continuation of the spill out of the graphic, which is pretty cool on there. Here we have the back of the packaging showing photos of Father of Ultra in various poses and with various accessories. We have some print here in Japanese primarily, with the Ultra Act logo, the name of the figure here, and there's also some stats in very small print, giving the height of Father of Ultra at 45 meters and his weight at 50,000 tons. So that's pretty cool. And you can see here Father of Ultra in a nice dynamic pose. And on the insert, you can see Father of Ultra with various accessories that are included in this set. Primarily the mantle, which takes up a lot of the space in the set. And also 2 other accessories. I think this is called the Ultra Array, a weapon of his. And also Father of Ultra firing a beam effect, which is kind of cool. And then you have more print in Japanese there. Now we'll be right back and have the Father of Ultra out of the packaging. Alright, we have both the figure and the accessories laid out here. And as you can see, there's quite a few accessories, and we're going to go ahead and take a peek at those first before we take a closer peek at the figure. And to start out, we have the pamphlet here showing you how to use all of the accessories. Pretty cool. There's print mostly in Japanese here that I can't read, but based on the pictures you can pretty much tell the gist of how to use all of them. We have a picture display of all of the hands there, and also how to use most of the accessories such as the extra head, the mantle, and also the color timer, weapon, and effects. So that's pretty cool. Next thing we'll take a look at are the hands. There are a pair of closed fists that are attached to the figure, and we'll take a look at the extra hands that came included in the set. And we'll start out with these. They are a pair of grasping type hands on there, nicely detailed in the sculpt. You can see the folds and what look like the suit or the cloth, the bodysuit from the show. Get it into, there we go, into focus. Pretty neat detail. And I have to say that these hands, because of the bigger sized figure, are a little bit bigger than your typical hands from Ultra Act figures. So I don't think they're compatible with other Ultra Act figures such as Ultraman or Ultraman Ace or any of the standard sized Ultra Act figures. So these are a little bit beefier hands. They may fit, I don't know if the peg hole will go into the other figures or not. I haven't tried. Also included are a pair of flat palms, which is pretty much typical with an Ultra figure. It's a pretty standard pose for the hands for figures in this universe. You can see this has detail as well on the back of the hand. You can see some sculpting detail there. Very cool. And also included is a grasping hand here, and this is mainly for the Ultra Array, I believe it's called, the weapon accessory that's included with the figure. We'll take a look at that next, the Ultra Array, and it's a nicely detailed accessory here. It's made mostly of translucent plastic, especially at the ends of this barbell-like design. And you can see it's clear plastic on these orbs, and has some these I'm not sure what they're called, but they like spike, bald spike that come out of the orbs there. It's actually pretty cool. And then you have this metallic-like handle in plastic on there with some red paint trim there. It's actually pretty cool. And in order for the grasping hand to get a hold of it, you have to pull off the ends of the orb. I'm not sure if it's just one or both. Let me see. Looks like you can pull either one off, so they both separate. And you stick the handle into the in the opening of the hand, and then you just place the orbs back into place. They're just pegged in, so put it in that way, and then put it in that way, and then go ahead and place the hand onto the figure if you don't have the hand already attached on there. So that's pretty cool, and the hand has a pretty decent grip on the array there. It's not too tight or too loose on there, so pretty neat weapon accessory there. And from the one episode I've seen the Father of Ultra use this array, it was really brief, and what looked like it shot a spark of energy at his opponent. It was really a very quick clip, so I didn't see any effects other than sparks. So I don't know if there are other effects associated with the array or not. But that's the array. And next piece we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the beam effect. And you can see it's a very nice beam effect here, and it has a hand sculpted into it. It's not removable, but you can place the hand onto the figure there. So, which is a bit different than the older beam effects that came out with older releases of Ultra Act figures, where you had to slip the effect over the hand and wrist area of the figure. But this one here, the hand is sculpted into the effect, so you don't have to do that. So, which is pretty cool. And you can see there's the peg hole. We can just attach it to the wrist of the figure, and it has an indentation here to allow the forearm to fit into the effect there. And of course, the effect is in this semi-transparent piece of multicolored plastic of what looks like a yellow and blue. And it's kind of cool how the blue colors here are more deeper in color at the ends, and become lighter and lighter as they get closer to the hand here to produce a nice effect there. And there's also some sculpting detail to the beam here. You can see it from the reflective glare. It's very, very nice on there. Very, very cool. And I'll have a photo of this on the figure towards the end of the video to showcase this. Pretty neat. Next thing we have is a color timer. There are two color timers. Of course, you have the standard blue color timer to go with the Father of Ultra that's attached to the figure at the moment. And then you also have a red color timer here to represent the low energy levels of the Father of Ultra, because they're limited by their use of their powers, depending on, I guess, on the planet they're on. And on Earth, it's usually limited to about several minutes of active use because of at the time of the original shows, due to the smog and the pollutants in the atmosphere, it kind of limited their use in the on the Earth. Now, other planets, they may have various levels of length of times to use their powers, but this one here, of course, is the low color timer, red, and usually on the shows they blink red on there. And to place this on the figure, you simply just use your fingernails to pull the color timer that's off the figure's chest, and then you can see here it's got a peg hole, and you simply just peg it in the other one. So it's cool that they give you a I guess a full or moderate level power timer and a low level or non-existent power timer. Pretty neat. We have here a nice piece. This is an accessory piece to actually go with a display base. On the back of the figure, here in the lower back, you can pull this piece off, which is a part of the fin, a sculpted part of the fin. And we have this piece here that you can replace, which has a peg hole to allow you to place one of the standard Ultra Act display bases. If you want to display the figure in a leaping or flying pose, you can do that. So that's kind of cool that they include this here. You just have to keep track of this because it's a very small piece. And it has one of my gripes about this particular set, in that they include this piece, but they don't include a display base, which is unfortunate, because the Brothers mantle sets, basically mantles that you can equip with the Ultra Brothers, they come with a display base. And this particular set includes a mantle for the Father of Ultra, but would have been nice to include a base to go with it, just like the Brothers Mantles accessory sets. But they don't include it mainly because there's quite a few accessories already, I think. And including a base may have driven the price up a little bit higher. But I would have been willing to pay for it if it included a display base. But they include you an accessory that you can use if you have an extra display base. So I guess that's kind of cool. Next thing we're going to go ahead and take a look at is this. This is an alternate head of the Father of Ultra, and is a piece that I was pleasantly surprised in finding. I did not think they would include a piece like this, but they did, which is nice, and there really is no difference between this head and the one included on the figure other than the eyes. And if you notice the eyes on the alternate head, it's a little bit darker, actually very much darker, as opposed to the one on the figure here. And this alternate head is a show-specific head in an episode of Ultraman Ace, which is the one I watched on YouTube. And Father of Ultra actually came to Earth in response to the Ultraman Ace and the Ultra Brothers in combating a particular powerful kaiju. And Ultraman, the Father of Ultra, flew directly from the garrison to Earth in full speed, and was able to arrive on Earth, but his adopted son Ace and the other Ultra Brothers were frozen into statues by this kaiju monster. So the Father of Ultra ended up combating this alien, but in his battle he was not successful in defeating the alien. And before Father of Ultra fell, he was able to give a spark of energy to revive Ultraman Ace. And Ultraman Ace was able to defeat the alien, but after Ultraman Ace was able to revive the other Ultra Brothers, they discovered that the Father of Ultra had died. And this head represents a dead form of the Father of Ultra from that episode, which is pretty cool that they include this. Now, of course, I guess later on they retconned that he really didn't die, but maybe it was a very low state of power and he was dormant. So I guess nowadays you could say this is his dormant head. But when the show originally aired, he actually did die. So I like to consider his dead form. So, but it's really cool that they included this, but it is a very specific or show-specific head there. But very nice to include it, and you can see the details on the head there. Of course, with the darkened eyes there, which is very cool on there, and his trademark horns, and I guess you can call it facial hair on the sides there. But very cool, and it's easily swappable with the figure. You got the peg hole there. You can place it or replace it on the figure. And it is articulated like the other head. Again, it's very much exact same head as the one on the figure, except for the eyes on there. So pretty cool. Next thing we'll take a look at is the mantle. And very cool that they included this. This is the mantle that the Father of Ultra wears. Very nice. And I've seen him wear this in an episode of Ultraman Mebius in the very first episode, as well as on the movie, I think it's called Ultra Galaxy Mega Monster Battle. It's the one that debuts Ultraman Zero. And he wears this in that movie. And I guess this is pretty much typical when he's at the Space Garrison, when he oversees the Space Garrison. And this particular mantle is very much like the mantle accessories for the Ultra Brothers that are sold separately from the figures. But this particular one is sold with the figure of Father of Ultra, and is a little bit different than the Ultra Brothers mantles, especially the mantle design here, and I think the collar is a little bit different. I'm not sure, but it's really this piece here that is more unique than the other Ultra Brothers mantles, and it's specific to the Father of Ultra. And you can see it's a very wide spanning shoulder pads, you could say, and with some nice designs here on the edges of the trim with what look like rivets going along the trim. It's very cool. And as you can see, it's made of a harder plastic, which is typical of the mantle sets of the Ultra Brothers. And it's also in 3 pieces, at least for the cape. So you can articulate the mantle, the cape portion of the mantle, not just out to the side, but as well as out to the, toward the rear. So you have quite a bit of posing possibilities on there. And taking a closer look at the cape piece, you can see it's nicely sculpted on there, and has a slight wash for the recessed areas in the folds of the cloth there, of the sculpted like cloth, which is pretty neat. Now, this piece here on the shoulder does articulate as well, but not as much as the cape portion. They do swing out to the sides. I believe this is to allow you to place this on the figure. And to place this on the figure, you have to remove the head first, and then place the back of the figure into this pegged area here, and then place the head of the figure onto the mantle area, and that should allow you to have the figure equipped with the mantle. Now, I'm not going to do that at this point because I want to take a closer peek at the figure itself. Now we're going to go ahead and take a peek at the Father of Ultra figure. And this is a very cool figure. I really like this figure. It's very, very nice. And the Father of Ultra is a larger character on shows and movies than your typical Ultra. He's larger in size and stature. And just for a quick comparison, we're going to go ahead and line up Father of Ultra with Ultraman from the original Ultraman television series. And I have Ultraman here, the renewal version. And if you just line them up, you can see right away, even not including the horns, the Father of Ultra is a bigger guy, both in height and in musculature. He's a really beefy guy, very strong individual compared to other Ultras. And I guess that's due in part to him being the leader of the Space Garrison. Now, the Space Garrison, I've always likened to very similar to the Green Lantern Corps from DC Comics. It's very much like that, especially from my viewing of the Ultraman Galaxy Mega Monster Battle movie, which featured the debut of Ultraman Zero. And they have the first part of the movie set in the land of light, and the garrison, space garrison, which Belial had taken over. And there is a scene there where the Father of Ultra battles Belial, and very cool. And that's where I had my first experience with the Father of Ultra. And taking a closer peek at the Father of Ultra here, you can see the figure here, and it's very nicely detailed. It is in the theme of a red Ultra, red and silver Ultra. There are different colors, there are blue Ultras as well. But the Father of Ultra is a red and silver Ultra, and also has some characteristics that are typical of Ultras, especially the fin that goes from the top of the head down the back, as well as the almond-shaped eyes there. Pretty cool. Yeah, but some things that are unique to the Father of Ultra, of course, are the horns. He has very large and thick horns that protrude from the sides of his head, which is very nice. And actually, his son Taro has inherited his horns, but not to a great degree as the Father of Ultra on here. And one thing also more unique to the Father of Ultra is what is, I guess, considered facial hair on here, but knowing these Ultras, it's not really hair per se, but it's more sculpted and solid than actual hair. But that what I consider to be facial hair, I don't know if it's due to his advanced age, or not really too advanced age, but due to his older age compared to other Ultras, or his stature in the hierarchy of Ultras. I believe Ultra King has a beard as well, a more full beard than Father of Ultra, but I don't know if that's to denote a higher rank, in addition to the mantle. But very interesting to have solid facial hair, something that Ultras, I guess, acquire when they get older. But very nice sculpting detail, though. Very, very cool on there, especially the eyes, which are a transparent plastic, and they're not smooth. They're actually got sculpted layers and on there, so it makes it look very unique, especially at certain angles, and there's a white underneath of that. Very, very nice. Moving down, we have the torso, of course, the typical body suit of an Ultra. Just the design work is unique in identifying the particular Ultra. And the Father of Ultra has a red and silver pattern, but a unique pattern on there compared to other Ultras to help identify him. And it's actually done very well. There's really no bleed or fade that I can find. Actually, there was initially, when I opened the figure, there was a paint scratch on the head, on the fin, but I was able to fix that by applying some mithril silver paint, Citadel paint, and that's been fixed there. But other than that one part, it's actually very clean in the paint application. There's really no bleed that I can find, either in the red or the silver, and very solid colors as well. And the sculpt, you could see, is very beefy on here, much more muscular than your standard Ultra, both in the chest area here and also in the shoulder area. And you can see there, and very, very cool. He does wear gloves that seem to be an extra part, as opposed to like standard Ultraman here with his pant design here, where it's the sculpted layer is just basically a sculpted line. But for the glove area for Father of Ultra, it's more pronounced on the sculpting, and you could tell that that's actually a different material, you could say, that he's wearing on top of his suit. If you can call them suits, I guess they're suits on there. But it's got some nice detail, especially on the edges here of the gloves. You can see all the sculpted detail. Very, very nice. Now, Father of Ultra also has a belt, which is a separate piece on there. I think it's glued down, though. It's not part of the torso, and does have a nice design on the buckle there, which is pretty cool. And the belt itself is solid, running throughout the figure, except for where it hits the fin area there. And then moving down to the legs, you have this sculpted detail of all of the patterns to identify him as Father of Ultra there. And moving down to the boots, you could see the boots, like the gloves, look like to be a separate piece of apparel on the Ultra here. And it's sculpted to be that way, where it's more pronounced, and you can see some design on the boots, and you can also see some folds on the ankle area of the boots, which is very cool. Very nice. Now moving to the back of the figure here, you can see here there are two ports here. One here is for the mantle, and that's removable so that you can peg the mantle into the back of the figure there. And you can just replace that piece if you don't want to have the mantle on the figure. And also on the lower back here, as I shown earlier, is a removable piece if you want to put the Father of Ultra on a display base. And it's pretty hard. You really have to get a good grasp. I can't seem to get a grasp on it right now. My fingernails are a little short there. But you should be able to, oh there we go. Should be able to remove that. Thought I had it. It's pretty difficult. I have to do it off screen, but it's actually removable. I'm not going to do it now. But you can replace it with that one piece with the peg hole, so you can use the display base on here. Now to remove the head on here, I haven't done it yet. I would grasp the neck area where you can, and then twist and pull. And you can see the ball joint there. And then if you want to place the dead version of Father of Ultra, you just go ahead and push the head into place. I'm going to have to do this off screen. Alright, we're back, and mine was very difficult to put the head on. It's a very tight fit on the neck area. You can hear it squeaking as I move it on this particular figure. Hopefully it's just my figure there, but you can see the dead version or dormant version of the Father of Ultra there. Looks like there's a scratch on mine. I don't know if I did that myself or if that was there before. But if you want to display the Father of Ultra in a dormant or dead state, you can have that figure. Now, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and place the mantle on the figure. So we'll have to do that off screen. Alright, we're back, and we have the mantle of Father of Ultra in place. And that's actually quite neat. You can see with the mantle on, it still shows the color timer on there. Very cool. And you can see how this articulates out to the side here to allow movement. The head is a bit restricted, not too much, but is a bit restricted with the higher collar area on there. And to apply the mantle, it was pretty simple. You do need to have the head removed as shown in the instructions, and you just clip the back of that into the open area of the upper back if you have that piece removed. And you can see how the mantle here articulates if you want a variety of poses with the mantle. It's very nice and very cool on there. So very nice. And we're going to go ahead and remove this so we can go over the articulation of the Father of Ultra. Okay, we're back, and I have the mantle removed from the figure, but it required quite a bit of work to get it removed, in that I had to remove certain sections of the mantle just to get easier access to be able to remove the mantle itself. Even the collar area I had to take apart, and I just wanted to show the parts. There are small parts here that are at a high risk of actually breaking off if you're not too careful, like the tabs and the pegs here. So I actually recommend not putting the mantle on the figure often if you want to switch between both the mantle and unmantled figure. It requires a bit of work, so especially to gain access to be able to remove the peg from the back of the figure there. So something I just wanted to point out. Nothing broke on mine. It's should be able to put everything back together by placing the pegs back into place, such as so, and then placing this back onto the pegged area here. So something I wanted to point out before we move to the articulation of the Father of Ultra here. And we have him here. And to go over the articulation, the head is on a hinge at the neck to allow the figure's head to move up and down, and slightly side to side. And see if it does rotate left and right a bit around the neck. There is an articulation point at the bottom of the neck, which is ball jointed, so you can move the neck around to give the head a greater range of motion, as well as left to right on there, so that's nice. The arms are attached to the shoulder on multiple joints. That allows the arm to go all the way around, and this one is very tight on the left arm of this figure. You can see it's a lot smoother on the right of the figure. The arms also do go out and in, as well as around slightly on the shoulder area, and there's also an extra joint within the shoulder that allows forward and back movement, and as well as up and down movement of the shoulder itself. So to get closer inward arm movement, as well as back arm movement there. So kind of nice there. There are double hinge joints at the elbows, so you can bend the arms that far in and this far out. There are balled hinge joints at the wrists that allow the hands to go in and out and around as well. And depending on the hinge position, you can get the hands side to side as well. So multiple range of movement for the hands there. So very nice. The upper torso, it looks to be a balled joint there. So you can move the upper torso down and the back, side to side, as well as around, but not entirely around. And there is a ball joint at the waist to get similar movements. So with both torsos, you have a nice array of downward, upward, and side and around movement. Very tight. You can hear the squeaking on there. Makes me fear of actually breaking something off if I move it too roughly. So I just got to be careful with the joints on there. The legs are on your typical Ultra Act Bandai type leg joints at the hip. Allow you to move upward, down, and out. And then there's an additional hinge joint to pull the leg down to give higher range of movement of the legs. It's a combination of balled, socketed, and hinge joints at the hip area. I was able to discover that when this leg came off when I was trying to remove the mantle on there. And so it's easily popped out, in I guess on some figures. You can see the ball joint here and the socket, and there's a swivel in there as well. So but you can pop that back into place, should still allow posability of the figure. There are double hinge joints at the knees, allow you to bend the leg that far back and this far forward. And like the wrists, there are balled hinge joints at the ankles to allow upward movement of the foot, back movement, swivel all the way around, and depending on where the hinge is, you can also, if you can get it, basically like an ankle type pivot on there. So you really have to move the hinge independent of the foot there. There is also a hinge at the toe to allow toe posability on the figure. So overall, the articulation is your standard typical articulation of a newer Ultra Act figure, and is actually quite dynamic for display. And Overall, as a figure itself, the Father of Ultra is a must-have if you're a fan of the Ultra universe, and to have the leader of your space garrison amongst the other Ultras. This is my casual peek into the Ultra Act, Father of Ultra action figure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.